What's up, YouTube? Angry Jackalope here, Rob Ricks, and we are back with the Tomahawk Throwdown. Yes, indeed. This one is requested by Brooke, the animal out of Australia. Good day, mate. And initially, he wanted to see, you know, the Traumahawk versus the Trenchhawk. And one of the other viewers said, hey, I've got one of these fancy schmancy RMJ tactical Shrikes, which he had already brutalized beyond belief. And then I had the good fortune of meeting with Tops and having them say, well, you know, we've got an IDT we want to throw into the mix as well. Actually, I begged and pleaded and said, I really want to put this against him too. Because I saw it at a show not too long ago and they were good enough to send me a factory second to just beat the cow shit out of. So, I guess, you know, let's go through them the same way that I did with the testing. So, I'm going to start off with the very first one, which is the Cold Steel Trenchhawk. And this guy is basically metal head. Goes down to here, and then basically the handle is made of their indestructible plastic that they use for their bats and their canes and everything else. And so this guy basically is just metal up here along the top. You could see it's got a fairly, comes to a nice thin point, or edge I should say, and then a point on the back which does not have sharpened edges. It just kind of tapers down into this nasty point here. And this has some hand grooves right here for choking up and doing forward strikes like this. They don't have any on the reverse side for any of that, so it's more for this for close quarter combat. So this is the very first Tomahawk I've ever owned, and actually I've had this guy for, oh gosh, 3 years. Yeah, I did say gosh, fuck, what am I thinking about? And then I got my hands on, see, this is one of the things that I actually don't like about this particular one is the way that the Kydex, there we go, comes on and off on this guy. It's a little tricky. So this is from Zombie Tools, and this is the Traumahawk. Now this guy is full tang. It goes metal all the way down to the end. It's got the aluminum handles wrapped with leather, and it's made of spring steel. And I gotta look up what this steel right here is made out of. It's, I would probably, before this video would have even started, they would have had each one of these guys with all their specs in it. So anyway, disregard. And so this guy is substantially heavier. Well, actually, I'll take that back. Fuck, this guy feels heavier. This guy's got a bigger head, but this guy feels heavier. I'll have to double check that on the specs. And as I mentioned before, this was sent in. This guy is way light. It's probably by far the lightest of the four. And this is the RMJ Tactical Shrike. And this was sent to me by Dillinger. And Dillinger is a longtime friend of the channel. And he's just a way cool dude. And so when he caught wind that I was going to do stuff, he was like, hey, I really, really, really want to see how mine stacks up against those other guys. And he doesn't have any, you know, preferences on anything. He just wants some shit that's going to be battle tested and work. So I was very happy that he sent this to me and very anxious to get the testing done so I get this back over to him, because I want to make sure that anything that I test that somebody sends me comes back to them. Okay, and then finally, I cleaned them. I washed these guys, but they're a little pig gutty. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this guy's full tang. It's got some very special molding techniques that they've done. This is rubber on this part here. It's insulated, it's shock resistant. There's a lot of thought and extra things that went into this that I could just go on and on and on. These grooves here, those are like ramps, so when you're hitting something and it just slides along it. You know, the back end here for pulling, prying, all kinds of good stuff. And it is just a fucking hard piece of tool, hard piece of kit to use. Not hard to use, but it's like a hard ass piece of kit. It's just badass. So, you know, we'll get into prices in a second. It's a little bit on the crazy side here. And then of course we've got the IDT that Top sent me. This is a factory second. You know what? Yeah, I got a little bit of I got a couple of chinks here. This guy didn't make it out without having some problems from the pig, but that's okay. That's good. That's what we're testing for. Now this also is the metal. The head is metal. The arms are metal. They're basically multi-assembly. The metal extends down in here. There's multiple pins that go in throughout to hold it in place. The guys at Tops have assured me as you chop and pull, that this head will not come out. And I believe them because as I'm sitting there and I'm fucking doing shit with it, it didn't wiggle, jiggle, anything at all. This fucking thing is a beast. Now, let's talk about pricing. I was able to go online and find this guy for about 32 bucks. Okay? 32 bucks. We'll just go from least expensive to most expensive. Okay? Then we have the IDT. I was able to find this on Blade HQ for about $150. It's $148.95. Okay? Then we've got custom made zombie tools, $249.95. Right? And then last but not least, we have the Shrike, which on their website lists for $425. And you really get what you pay for. These two are custom pieces. Okay? They're custom. These two pieces are production pieces. A lot more of these are made. Now, I wouldn't trust this guy with my life just because they sell handle replacements and I've seen people talking about these bolts right here breaking. I wouldn't trust this with my life, but for the price, out fucking standing. Okay? So, Angry Jackalope Approved, Angry Jackalope Approved, Angry Jackalope Approved, and Angry Jackalope Approved. All of these are fucking badass. They all do what they're supposed to do with varying degrees of success. And I have videos to show you. But let's, as is tradition for the show, let's let the peanut gallery chime in. I know you guys have been missing Steve and the gang for a bit, so let's just go ahead. Let's go same order that we've been doing everything here. Before we get to the videos, well, fuck it. No, let's just do the videos real quick. Here we go.
Thankless little bitch.
All right, so you saw all the abuse that these went through. Now understand there is additional footage that I have of these three while I was down in Idaho. While I was down in Idaho, we destroyed a car with these as well. So I have additional footage. That's going to be bonus. That's going to be a separate video in of itself. But just understand, these three blades went through a bunch of other testing before this guy. And Dillinger did ridiculously crazy shit with this before he even sent it to me. He chopped live wires to see if it was insulated against electricity, which I'm not going to fucking do. I'll take his fucking word for it. That's fucking crazy. I'm a little bit woo, but that's fucking nuts. And his thinking was, if he's chopping into a building structure and he hits a live wire or whatever, he don't want to get electrocuted. Well, kudos to you. I'm not the one. And so he also chopped a bunch of frozen chicken. He chopped a bunch of wood. He did a bunch of other things way before this was sent to me. In fact, I cleaned it up and sharpened it before I even started doing any of the testings. So, you know, I didn't do anything really crazy with it. I just kind of cleaned it up because this thing looked like it had already been through a couple of tours. So, that being said, take the video that you just watched with a grain of salt, because this guy, while being a factory second, it did come to me nice and pretty much new and nice and clean. Edges were nice and sharp, so, you know, it did really well, and it's amazing. But at the same time, don't forget, these guys had already gone through just a shit ton of abuse beforehand. All right, so we are going to start with the Cold Steel Trenchhawk. All right, so Steve, why don't you go ahead and pop it off?
I think it's pretty slick, but I worry about the handle breaking. I'd give it a 6.5.
All right. Randy.
I love the power chops it could do. I give it a 7.5.
Damien.
If used on people, I think it's amazing value. I give it an 8.
All right. I am going to give this guy a 7. 7. And my concern is the handles and the bolts. But for the price point, unbelievable. Angry Jackalope Approved. All right. Zombie tools. Start off with Steve.
I fucking love it. You know I want a small one. I told you this.
Yep.
Zombie tools, make me a small one. I scored a 9.
Randy.
For the destruction it does, and the leather. Oh man, the leather.
Yeah, you like leather.
I give it an 8.
Damien.
More than capable of slicing limbs, heads, and jaws off. Yes, I give it a 9.
Okay. Alrighty. All right. I give this guy, because of all the other stuff that I've done with this before, all the other testing, I'm going to give this guy an 8, because I think it is just going to serve me very, very well in the impending zombie apocalypse. Zombie tools. Okay, let us go now to the Shrike. You know, there's a couple other features on here that are amazing. This beard, for example, has an edge to it, which would allow you to do more fine work with it, you know, do things with it. There was a couple parts in the video I was sitting there chopping and pulling with it. I like the fact that it's got the insulation, it's a single, it's full tang. This thing just is a monster. It's just a beast, and it's very lightweight. If you had to take it out on missions with you, it's not going to bog you down. It's not going to weigh a whole hell of a lot. So yeah, let's see what the guys think about this. I'm going to start off this time with Damien.
That edged beard is deadly. It could slice a neck effortlessly. I give it a 9.
Randy.
That is a seriously badass tool. I give it an 8.5.
Steve.
It's so badass, I'd rock the shit out of it. It's built to last. I give it a 9.
All right. I am going to give this... I'm going to give this an 8 also. Did I say 8 for zombie tools? I think I said 8. Yeah. 8. I think, yeah, 8. Last but not least, Jesus, this fucking thing is just so heavy. It's just, God, it's just... All right, you know what? Before we even get into scoring, for killing, for just mayhem, destruction, this one is my favorite. This is my second favorite. This is my third favorite. And this is last. It doesn't mean that they don't all have their special things. It's just, I just love the way this guy feels in my hand. Now, this is funky in a way because this almost feels like a fucking pipe. You know, a big, heavy, cement-filled fucking pipe with edges on it. Okay? But look at how thick this is. This is fucking ridiculous thick. Ridiculous thick. It is just monstrous. Anyway, let's go ahead and get some scoring. Randy.
What? Oh, fucker.
You know I was going to do it to you, huh? Randy, go.
Deadly as fuck, 9.
Steve.
It's like a ghetto-bladed pipe. Straight gangster. I give it a 9.
Damien.
I wanted a bigger blade. 8.
Really? That's surprising. Okay. I am going to give this guy an 8. 8. Yeah, I know. 8, 8, and 8. And it's like each one of these has their specific uses. You know, if I want to take big giant chops and chop off an arm, a leg, something like that, this, I mean, shit, this really is designed for fucking just dispatching fucking zombies. I mean, I can chop into a head, the spike is just fucking ridiculous. This guy is more multifunctional. I could definitely see special operations using something like this to go in, do some serious breaching, popping doors, things of that nature. Fucking around with electricity and not dying. That is a big, huge point for this guy. And this one is just fucking killing, and tearing walls apart. But I do not think this guy, even though it's got a nice foamy, grippy handle, I do not think this particular guy is insulated against electricity. So as far as, and it's a lot heavier. It feels a lot heavier than the Shrike. But I love this spike on the end here. This to me is the business end. This end right here, it was interesting the way that this, as the Strike came forward, just met and ate and just kind of ate shit up pretty well. I will be doing more reviewing on this guy as time goes on. I didn't know, I still don't know how I feel about this lanyard hole being right center of the handle like that. But, you know, it's not bad. It's not bad. But 8. So 8, 8, 8, and I think I gave this guy a 7.5. And that was mostly because of the handle. But where this guy does excel and the others kind of fall flat, and it's probably because of how long this handle is, this is the only one where I could I could grab 2 hands and have just a massive power swing But that's also kind of the scary part, right? Because with more power and more downward hitting, this is going to have just a lot more force on these bolts. And if I miss and hit something a little hard and I give it all I got and I whack and it shatters, I don't know, that's kind of scary to me. I don't know. But anyway, that's it for the Tomahawk Throwdown. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This shit was fucking bananas. Sorry that the video wasn't super sunny. We've had